We are thrilled to see you all here. This is one of the best days of the year for the Brown Foundations and our trustees. And I welcome you all. Thank you for coming. We have quite a few VIPs here today. The Brown Foundations are the legacy of Burr Brown and company that Tom Brown built, and it was successful largely because of a real dedication to excellence, hard work, persistence, and we support the people in this room because you embody those qualities. You're the best and the brightest in engineering and business, and those are the two disciplines that really underpin the success of Burr Brown. And one of the goals of having the lunch is to introduce the students to the faculty who we support and the trustees also. There's a lot of experience and accomplishment in this room that you can benefit from. I'd like to introduce some of the people who are here today. We have the Dean of Eller, Paulo Goes. Welcome. And also our new Dean of Engineering, I just saw you, there you are, David Hahn. We have Joaquin Ruiz, who is the Dean of Science and soon to be the Vice President for Global Environmental Futures. Congratulations, Joaquin. He is the Thomas R. Brown Chair by virtue of being Director of Biosphere 2. And I don't know if you saw the paper today, but there was quite an article on the rainforest. And they're about ready to put it into drought and study how the carbon flows and all sorts of things that are very important. We also have our faculty members here who we support. I just saw Sen Chen Chen walk in. Where are you? There you are, there you are. Glad you could come. Price Fishback. I haven't seen Price yet. Maybe he's running a little late. Linda Powers, who is our endowed chair in engineering. And Joaquin, by virtue of director of Biosphere 2. And Jo Ellen Russell. So these are star faculty in our view, working on serious challenges in the world. And I encourage you to introduce yourself, talk to them before the end of the day. And then we have also trustees from the Brown Foundation. These are people who really contributed substantially in their own careers and are now helping my sister Mary Bernal and I be effective philanthropists. So thank you to all of you for being here. We have Dan Janes, who's at the table too, and John Carter, there you are. And Sean Kirkpatrick, thank you. And, of course, my sister, Mary Bernal. Unfortunately, Jerry Swanson, Jack Jewett, and Michael Hard are out of town today, so they could not be here. But I'm sure they would do anything for any student that is here if you wanted to call upon them. I would like to introduce a few more people who are here today. And they're alumni from the University of Arizona, and they're now working and creating new solutions for present-day problems. Why don't you guys stand up? This could be you in a few years. Go ahead. They're with, Chris is not, but two of our alums are with ExxonMobil, and they're working on a project to, solve the plastic buildup in our environment. And we all, of course, wish you Godspeed in that endeavor. Anyway, I was just about ready to say our president had been detained, and he arrived right on cue. Welcome, Dr. Robbins. Come on up here. The next part of our program is to hear from the deans and the students, which is really what we're all organized to be here for. And we're excited to hear from all of you. But let me first ask Dr. Goes to come up and say a few words and introduce our students.
Thank you, Sarah. I was actually expecting to be in between engineering and sciences. And I was going to make a joke about being sandwiched between engineering and sciences and the incredible role that business plays in connecting. But I think it's still, the message is still there. We're very fortunate to have had the support from the Thomas Brown Foundation for a few years now. It really helps us with retention of our best faculty and also helping and supporting our best students. When I look at the business college, the Eller College, and again, I think our role at the university is to provide this big connecting hub. But business as a professional school has to be there connecting engineering, connecting science, connecting cows, connecting the humanities, because at the end, it's about innovation. Innovation is about the business model. It's about providing the engine for growth in many different ways, not only in Tucson, but nationwide, and so on and so forth. I'd like to mention a couple of things that we're working on with the College of Engineering. One is around the McGuire Center for Entrepreneurship, which has been an outstanding entrepreneurship program for many, many years, always ranked at the top. And we have engaged in a concerted effort to bring more engineering students to the new venture program. So in the past, it used to be a program with only teams of business students. Now we are bringing engineering students that together with the business students work on new ventures and move them forward towards commercialization. And that has added a lot of excitement to the program. Many of our alumni who are here, many of our students who are being honored, they have been part of that kind of a joint engineering business program. The engineers have great solutions for technical problems, and the business students help them understand that there are markets for that. Would consumers accept it? What's the finances for that? And I've heard so many great things from the engineering students about what they've learned by being in the McGuire program. Last time I talked to this very bright engineering student, she said, I thought I knew everything about calculus, about linear algebra, about quantitative analysis, but I didn't know how to put together a financial model. And now I know. So she was very proud of that. So our plan is to continue to provide that bridge to several other students so that when it comes to entrepreneurship, we at the McGuire Center get them together for that last year of their college experience. The other program that we have together with engineering is now a 2-year-old master's in cybersecurity. So we got together with ECE and also with SIE, and we designed a new total online master's program in cybersecurity, leveraging the expertise of faculty like Dr. Chen and others. We have gotten 2 now NSF grants of about $5 million each that were designed for us to develop curriculum and programs and courses on cybersecurity. We just got that renewed for another 4 or 5 years, and it's called a Scholarship for Service grant. The students have to spend 2 years with us. They get a master's degree in 2 years. They work on cyber projects, and then they are going to be working for the government, could be federal government, state government, local government, for 2 years to give back. And they are paid while they're here, so it's an outstanding program, and that allowed us to build this new master's degree in conjunction with the College of Engineers. So I'm very excited about what we're doing together with different colleges, and I really believe that that's the future. The Dr. Robbins talks about the fourth industrial revolution, which by and large is about convergence of technologies that allow society and the economy to work on new things. And convergence is, for us, interdisciplinarity. It is working together with different colleges so that we can accomplish greater things. So with that, I'd like to introduce some of the alumni that have been past recipients of the Thomas Brown Distinguished Scholarship, and I think some of them already stood up, but I'll call their names again. Gordon Downs, Mohammed Majid, and Stephanie Zawada. Thank you. In the past few years, you carried the torch and received the scholarship and went through the McGuire program. Now, current McGuire students who are current scholars and recipients of the scholarship. Sarah Deginger, who is an MBA student. Carter Fung. And Adam Spintz. He's busy working on his project, right? Should I introduce the MBA speaker now, or just?
I'm sorry, I skipped lines. Please do.
Okay, so we have our speaker, Sarah, and I'm going to be introducing her. Sarah Deginger is a 2020 MBA candidate with a dual concentration in entrepreneurship and marketing. She's originally from New Jersey and moved to Tucson 5 years ago with her parents and younger sister. She previously worked at a nonprofit community health center as their marketing and volunteer coordinator for over 3 years before deciding to attend the Eller MBA program. Sarah spent this past summer as the marketing intern for Republic Services, learning all about the recycling industry and economics. This year, she's excited to be the marketing director for the MBA Student Association and to learn how to bring a business idea to life through the McGuire Entrepreneurship Center. Sarah.
Thank you so much, Dean Goyes, for the lovely introduction. And a special thanks to the Brown Foundation for hosting this incredible event. I can't thank you enough for your support, but I'm going to try my best to do that right now. As Dean Goyes mentioned, I'm currently an MBA student, concentration in both marketing and entrepreneurship. The McGuire New Venture Development Program was one of the things that attracted me to the Eller MBA program from the very start. I come from a family of business owners. My father, aunt, and grandfather all started their own businesses. Seeing their drive and passion fostered an entrepreneurial mindset in me from a very young age. I can still remember selling my dad's homegrown tomatoes at the end of my driveway as a kid. Since then, I've watched entrepreneurs around the world solve complex problems. Companies like Tom Shoes, which matches every pair of shoes purchased, with a new pair of shoes for a child in need, and Crisis Text Line, which offers free 24/7 tech support to those in crisis, were completely unheard of at the time they were founded and have since changed the lives of millions. I believe that's the beauty of entrepreneurs. They have the power to solve the world's problems. And I may not know what role I have to play in that just yet, but I do know that I find passion in so many things, especially if that thing helps others. It's companies like these and my own experiences that have inspired me to pursue an entrepreneurial career. When I was researching different MBA programs, Eller was at the top of my list. I wanted a program that would teach me how to bring an idea to life. The McGuire New Venture Development Program provides a unique space for students to get creative, take chances, and make mistakes. I've always loved this quote by Winston Churchill: "Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm." And I have a feeling this is going to be a very enthusiastic year. And thanks to the Brown Foundation, When I walk across that stage next May, I will be graduating debt-free, an enormous privilege that few students can speak to. Because of this scholarship, I'll be able to spend more time focusing on my student experience. I'll be collaborating with my new venture development team, learning how to launch our business idea. As the marketing director of the MBA Student Association, I'll have the opportunity to plan more engaging events that foster a sense of community between our cohorts. I'll be able to help plan tailgates and volunteer events and fundraisers. For example, just a few weeks ago, I organized the annual Welcome Back event at the Stillwell House downtown for the first and second year MBA students. Having attended this event a year ago as a first-year student myself, I was able to innovate to create a more welcoming and engaging environment for the incoming students. You'd be surprised what a little arranged seating can accomplish. Additionally, I'm looking forward to being a mentor to the first-year MBA students. I remember how daunting the program seemed to me after being in the workforce for several years, so I'm excited to offer support to them in any way that I can, whether that's giving them tips for how to pass a class, connecting them with my professional network, or just being there to listen. The Eller MBA program is small but mighty. The past two cohort sizes have only been about 30 students, so it's engagements like these that create opportunities for us to collaborate with each other and build lifelong relationships. And finally, this scholarship will allow me the time to go to my parents' house for dinner, so my mom especially thanks you. To all the other students in the room, embrace the challenges ahead. They will only make you stronger, smarter, and better equipped for the future. I wish I had the exact words to express the immense gratitude I have for your generosity. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So thank you for making this possible. I promise to make it count. And with that, thank you so much for having me, and I hope everyone has a wonderful, enthusiastic rest of their Monday.
Thank you so much. Dean Hahn, why don't you come up and make a few remarks and introduce some of our engineering students.
Thank you, Sarah. It's nice to follow the Eller College. And as you just heard a moment ago in Thomas Brown's own words, he said his was a story of engineering and management and serendipity. So it's nice to have this coming together of engineering students and students from the College of Management as well as science. So that's very nice to have that. Also want to thank the Brown Foundations and the Brown family for the support of our scholars. This is a really esteemed group of students. As I'm new to the University of Arizona, it's always remarkable to sit down and meet with our students and just see their enthusiasm, their passion, their vision for where they're going. You know, this is the cream of the crop, and it's really nice to come together, have a family like this support these students, and let them reach their fullest potential. So that's a real honor. Paulo just touched on many of the same things that I wanted to say, so I can be a little more brief, which is what's happening at the University of Arizona as a college, as a university, the willingness to work together to solve, as President Robbins has pointed out, the grand challenges of society. I like to say that engineers, we are the problem solvers. We are the group that can bring the technologies to impact our future, food and water and energy, healthcare, sustainability, security. But we need help from the business students and the business college and the colleges of science. We all need to come together, and that atmosphere at the University of Arizona is really what pulled me here. So it's fabulous to be here and hear that. And I don't know if President Robbins is going to say a word or two later, but if he does, I hope that he talks a little bit about the grand challenges, because it's so exciting for all of us on the faculty and I think for our students. Within the College of Engineering, a big future direction for us is to basically create a comprehensive four-year design program where our students start as freshmen and really, these year one students embrace the introduction to design, but then they often get a little what we call siloed in these middle years where they start taking their core courses, and they're not always interconnected, and students can sometimes lose track of why they went into engineering, which is to really be problem solvers. And then we come out on the other end as seniors and we bring it all together in capstone, and that's a good experience. But what we want to do is to bridge that throughout the curriculum so that course to course you're thinking about design. and you're bringing in the additional skills of management and economics. And I've already had some nice discussions with Paulo about how we can bring even more than we do with McGuire and some of these other centers, where we're bringing our engineers and our students together. You know, again, on this larger picture of the University of Arizona as this comprehensive university, I had a great day with Joaquin Ruiz and Sarah at the Biosphere 2 about a month ago, where we went all through the facilities and all the passion of the things going on in the science and how engineering can help. And I was so inspired, I went back and funded a senior project to go and help work on your wave generator. So there's so much opportunity here at the university. It's just an exciting time to be here. Now it's my honor to recognize the 2019 Thomas R. Brown Scholars that represent the College of Engineering. I'll say that the group, we have 20 scholars. We have 16 of them here today. A fantastic group. I counted over 30 incidences in their sort of histories of being interns and student researchers and leaders in their societies and clubs. And it's that involvement outside of the classroom that makes them a special group. And again, I think will lead to their long-term success. So what I'm going to do is call the names of our scholars. And what I'll do is, since we have 16, I'll ask at the end, we'll all stand up for recognition. So it's my pleasure to go down the list and recognize. Savannah Armstrong. Why don't you stand as I call your name, and we'll hold the applause till the end. Savannah Armstrong. Said it right the first time. Sebastian Diaz. Reagan Fornstrom. Diana Garland. Sarah Gillum. Rachel Gorlick. Monique Martinez, Kevin May, Kelly McCarthy, Justin Palacios, Nisha Rajna Krishna, Melissa Requist, Alex Sepulveda, Rebecca Shanks, Nathan Thomas, and Paxton Tamuka. I also ask our previous alumni of the program to stand as well, and we'll give a nice round of applause to all of our 2019 Thomas R. Brown Scholars. And afterwards, we'll do some group photos. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our student speaker from the College of Engineering, Savannah Armstrong. Savannah is a dual major in mechanical engineering and applied mathematics. Very impressive. She hails from Boise, Idaho. So again, like many of our students at the University of Arizona, they come from all over the country, and it's really exciting to see. At our introductions, our orientations, I always ask students, where are you from? And many are from Arizona, but I've met them from all over the country. And it really makes this university a destination to see students come from Idaho down to Arizona to take advantage of this great university. So she's from Boise. She's in Tau Beta Pi, the Engineering Honor Society, which is an elite group within the College of Engineering students. She's very active in Engineers Without Borders, and I believe she's going to speak a little bit about that. Circle K International. She's doing research in the math department. So she's a very active student. And I picked up a little line from her talk, is that as an engineering student, when she goes back to her family in Idaho, she often gets, let Savannah do it. She's an engineer. And I love to hear those kinds of things. My own daughter is a senior in mechanical engineering, and in our family, with our 3 children, she gets the same thing. Let Mary do it. She's the engineer. So it's really nice that her own family members are looking to an engineer to solve their problems. So with that, Savannah, I ask you to come up and share some of your thoughts with us.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm very grateful to be here today. He mentioned my introduction a little bit, so bear with me while I go through it again. But whenever I make a trip home to Boise, Idaho, it seems that with every technology issue or furniture item that needs to be put together, my family turns to me with cries of, let Savannah do it, she's an engineer. I always reply with a laugh, an engineer in training. However, as I get farther along in my undergraduate career, I feel less and less like an engineer in training. I see myself applying my skills to projects with real-life applications, and I get even more excited to see where the engineering field will take me. The University of Arizona has been a perfect fit for me, allowing me to explore the dimensions of my interests while still obtaining a high-quality education. The support of the Brown Scholarship has made it possible for an out-of-state student like me to branch out of my comfort zone. On campus, I am a member of Engineers Without Borders and Circle K International. EWB has opened my eyes to the international need for engineers, and our current project is building solar-powered wells in a small community in the Dominican Republic. These wells would have a large impact on the community's Savannah Mula, as they rely almost entirely on seasonal rains, and they are in their 4th year of drought. The task of planning and implementing these wells while navigating a foreign language and unfamiliar government agencies would have once seemed daunting to me, but the environment of teamwork among engineers in this club has proven very powerful. Circle K is a community service organization, and it has allowed me to feel more grounded in the Tucson community as I participate in their various projects. Across large and small scales, real progress can be made when groups come together. This year, I am participating in research with a math professor at the U of A. We are investigating and modeling patterns in the reversals of magnetic poles of the Earth. And given my interest in space and the planet Earth, I'm beyond excited to start investigating. I received the opportunity from the math department, but I have used so much of my engineering knowledge in the work that I do. Majoring in math and engineering has proven useful in many ways, and it seems like every day I make a new connection between both of the coursework. With each year at the University of Arizona, I see more opportunities presenting themselves. The Brown Scholarship allows me to foster my curiosity in an engineering program that challenges and excites me. I will always be grateful for the foundation, and I hope to pay your kindness forward by using my mechanical engineering experience in a career that seeks to solve problems around the world. Thank you.
Thank you both for sharing your thoughts. The student speeches are really the best part of the day, so. We do have dessert and photos afterwards, but we also have Dr. Ruiz here. And would you like to say something for our benefit and, you know, where you're headed and what this university, the possibilities this university is opening up?
Thank you. All right, well, everybody saw the film, and it's about management and engineering and serendipity, so I guess I represent serendipity. And it's true that serendipity is a lot, but I'll tell you one thing. It takes a lot to create serendipity. And I wanted to just say the Brown Foundation has worked incredibly hard for things to happen at the University of Arizona that allows serendipity to happen to all of you. Ecosystems have to be created where the opportunities are there for you to find, and you have found them. That's why you're here today, and I congratulate you all for being so good. But it isn't just running around bumping your head against the wall. I've done that for my whole career, actually. My wife hates me because I never planned anything in my life. But I was able to take opportunity of things that happened because others created those opportunities for me. And I was just able to then act on it, like you have. The University of Arizona, which I've spent all my life, is a place that has created ecosystems for opportunities for students in ways that I haven't seen anywhere else. We have students manning rovers on Mars, and we have students that are basically at the forefront of looking at cancer research, and we can go on and on. Those kinds of opportunities exist because of a culture at the University of Arizona which is extraordinary. You need two things for serendipity to be as effective as it can be. You need to have just incredibly smart and dedicated folks at the helm, incredibly smart and dedicated folks doing the work, and then for students to be able to be part of all of that. I can tell you that one of the biggest challenges that I've had as Dean of the College of Science was that many of our most extraordinary faculty members would much rather have undergraduate students in their laboratories working with them than having postdocs, right? And it is thanks to that you were able to then use and take advantage of all of the infrastructure and people that we have. Anyway, congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to the Brown Foundation for doing what you do. I've been involved with the university and have dealt with Mary and Sarah, and it's just amazing how hard they work for all of you to have the opportunities that you have. So thank you for all you do. Thank you.
Well, Sarah, thank you for inviting me. I think this is the first one of these events I've been to, and it's just fabulous. And thank you, Mary, and the whole Brown family and board for supporting the university. It's so important, and I think Paulo was touching on how supporting our students and supporting our endowed chairs for the faculty gives degrees of freedom that allow them to accomplish things and be able to achieve with resources that they wouldn't normally have. You know, as I think about you know, my time at Stanford, there was Hewlett and Packard, and the Brown Foundation is the University of Arizona's Hewlett and Packard. I think David and Bill were both students at Stanford, and you know, the starting the company in the garage, and your father was right on par with them. And unfortunately, I never got to know him, but I can see his pioneering spirit and through the foundation and your lives and how you supported the university. So I'm incredibly grateful for what you've done for the university and hopefully what you'll continue to do for us. And I'm really touched by the idea of these scholarships because as JP and I, Paulo and Phoebe were in New York this past week and then went to San Francisco and talking about focusing on supporting our students, which is part of the first pillar of the strategic plan. I think it's so important, but also supporting faculty members and seed money for research grants. I mean, Joaquin, you know, the OSIRIS-REx project is almost $1 billion of funding from NASA, and it's really, I think it's the second project that any university has ever been allowed to run outside of NASA. Because when you're talking about $1 billion, and you know, most universities don't get that opportunity. When I came and started talking about, in order to compete for one of these, you know, $500 million, $1 billion projects, you have to invest money. For those of you who've written grants, you know what I'm talking about. It's sort of the planning grant part. And to do a planning grant to get ready to submit to NASA or NSF or other big funding agencies, NIH, we need those funds, those seed funds that are really being invested in an early stage, and so that we can get all of our preliminary data and all the bios and all the big vision of what we hope to do with these grants. And there are many others that are coming down the pike. So your funding helps with that as well. And then, you know, David has come, and I'm so appreciative that he decided to leave the swamp. I love that. You know, gone from the swamp in Gainesville to the desert. And of course, following Jeff, who's done such a great job. But I love that it's engineering, science, and Eller together, because that is the fourth industrial revolution, and you were on to the fourth industrial revolution before anybody started talking about it. And now, as Mike Dake says, we're on to the vision beyond the vision and the fifth industrial revolution, which these students are the ones who are going to lead us there. Somebody in this room is going to discover something that will be a fundamental discovery that will be translated to form a company and to simply make the world a better place. So I'm confident of that, but it can't happen unless you're in a milieu or an ecosystem, as Joaquin said, where these great discoveries can happen. And the University of Arizona, again, one of the top research universities in the world, has that special milieu that because we've got great faculty members. And certainly Joaquin I'm just incredibly grateful, number one, that I ever got to meet Joaquin, and I consider him a friend. But looking at what, the big engine of this university that's gotten us on the really the world map and our world rankings is the College of Science. Under his leadership for 2 decades, it flourished and had faculty members that stayed here because they loved the place, they loved what he was doing, his vision for leading the university and the College of Science, and also had some pretty cool toys like telescopes and other things. So I think that certainly Eller and College of Science, I always talk about being the 2 big turbocharged engines that make this university go. Obviously, David, you've got that school up north is always talking about engineering, and so we've got a lot of room to grow in engineering. And again, I'm really so thrilled that you decided to come to the university. And for Joaquin, I'm really looking forward to working with him because, as we know, the clock is ticking on the earth. And I don't know if Joaquin woke up and had an epiphany that he needed to focus all of his energy on climate change and the environment. I mean, we live in such a truly unusual place. But I look forward to going with Joaquin and JP as we start our campaign to go out and raise money, because from the first time I met Joaquin and from the first time I went to the Biosphere, I knew it was something special, something that no other university and no other organization in the world has. And I'm just thrilled for our university, and actually thrilled for Joaquin that he gets to focus his energy on going to Davos, and Christiane Amanpour is going to be here and hanging out with her and having her interview him and write a story about all the great things he's doing. And I mean, it's just going to be a tremendous opportunity for all of us to have Joaquin not being pulled in 10 different directions and being able to focus. I would also say happy Mexican Independence Day. There was a beautiful concert last night at the Fox Theater that I really enjoyed. So I said I was going to be brief because, and I warned Sarah the last time I did this under the influence of drugs, I rambled on, but I really appreciate all that you've done for the university. It's a game changer and a difference maker as we constantly move toward making the university better, and certainly supporting our students and all the great things that they'll go on to do. Just remember us when you start your companies that we need your support back at the university. All right, thank you so much.